Hi, this is Julian here. We're gonna start the uh, installation of Microsoft Exchange as well as set up the DNS on virtual network here. I've selected a software router called pfSense, uh, and as you can see, I have it already running here in the web administration. It runs on a separate virtual machine here. As you can see, it's no bells and whistles, just text. But it does have a fancy web administration. What I did here was under the DHCP server, I have fixed the IP addresses of my servers, the Windows server, Linux server, and some of the other hosts. So we go into Windows Server 2003. We are going to start afresh, and we'll create a new lookup zone. Here's a primary zone. We're going to call it scuderia.com. Do a next. No dynamic updates. Finished. And it's running. We click into Scuderia. We're going to add a host. And I call this Win server. And the IP address as just now, 192.168.5.10. I add the host. We can go ahead with it. The reverse will be done later. We can add the Linux server, lin server, and it's going to .5.20, and we add. Okay, done. And as you can see, the start authority and name server is both wrong on the data, so we're going to point them into the A host of the Win server, which is the DNS of this Windows Server 2003. So double click this primary server. We're going to browse, click into here for lookup zones, Scuderia, and we're going to select Win server, and put responsible persons admin.scuderia.com, and we're going to change the name servers. Click into the name server tab here, and we're going to edit. We're going to browse again, and we are going to select Win server. Okay. Then we do an OK here, and OK. Yes, all this is done. Now we're gonna add some more hosts. We add another new host. Let's point our router, and we know the router address is this. And we add a host. Done. So what we're going to do is that we are going to add some C names, the canonical names, to some of the servers here. So we're going to add like we're going to put a primary server as the Windows server. So a new C name. We put World Wide Web, and we browse, and we're going to put it into the Windows server. Okay. Let's say we add another one, World Wide Web 1, and it's going to point to our Linux server. Okay, so you can see we have C names. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put a MX record. That is the main one. The first priority is the Windows server, which we're gonna install Microsoft Exchange later on this system. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put a new MX, and we're gonna call it Exchange, and we're gonna browse, and we're gonna put a Windows server, and we're gonna put priority of 10. This is gonna be higher priority, or we can add some other priority, let's say 50. You can add some more servers later. So we're gonna do it. Okay, we are going to add another mail exchanger, the Linux exchanger. We got send mail, and we're gonna browse, and we're gonna add send mail in the Linux server, and we're gonna add this priority as, let's say, 100. Okay, done. Now what we're going to do is that we're going to put a reverse lookup zones for our Linux server and our Linux server, our Windows server and Linux server. So what we're going to do is add a new zone. Next, it's a primary zone. Network ID is 192.168.5, and the reverse lookup zone name has already been created here. So create a new file, and then we do not allow our dynamic updates, and we finish. So we click into the subnet. As you can see, style authority and the name server is both wrong again. So what we can do is that we can change them here. We go browse, and we put it into the Windows server. We go to the name servers. We're gonna change this, edit, and we're gonna browse, and we go put into the Windows server. Okay. So all this are correct. We're gonna add a pointer, and .10 goes into our Windows server. Okay, and we're gonna add .20 is our Linux server. Okay. Now we're gonna add another one for our router. .1. I'm gonna browse and go back in here, and we use the router. Okay. Now we're gonna test whether our DNS is gonna work. First, we're gonna point our network to the correct settings. We go to TCP/IP when we're gonna obtain the following DNS addresses. So we're gonna put 192.168.5.10, and we're gonna add one more 192.168.5.1, which is our actual router. So we're gonna do this, and we're gonna click OK, and go OK, and this should be done. And keeping our fingers crossed, we're going to run Explorer, and this is the whole bunch of host names that we have over here. What we're gonna do is we're gonna try one by one. So we're gonna put like a win server .scuderia.com, and there, our web page is up. I'm gonna try another one, Linux server .scuderia.com, and Apache server is up. So we're gonna try one more, World Wide Web.scuderia.com, and that's our Windows web server. Now let's try World Wide Web 1.scuderia.com, and that's a Linux Apache server. So everything seems to be running. Let's try something like let's check our router. So we're gonna go router.scuderia.com, and it asks me for my login. Means that my software router is running, and we should be able to see all the settings that we can have here. Now see, we're gonna go back out in the web, because on the DNS we did point to the router as a secondary DNS to go out into the internet. So what we're gonna do is that we're gonna just type google.com and see we still go out. Oh yes, we are able to. So the DNS is working.